She was just a quiet cafeteria worker in a U.S. high school. Someone nobody paid attention to. Students walked past her like she wasn't even there. Teachers barely knew her name. She kept her head down, worked hard, and went home to a tiny rented room every night. But one day, the most arrogant teacher in that school pushed her too far. He made a joke at her expense, thinking she was uneducated, a simple woman who didn't belong near smart people. He had no idea that the woman he mocked was once a mathematical genius, and when she finally shows what she knows, his entire world is going to change. Sarah Miller was 28. She lived alone in a small apartment near Jefferson High, Texas. Every morning at 5 a.m., her alarm rang. Not a fancy ringtone, just the default beep, because she couldn't afford anything extra. She'd get up, make cheap instant coffee, tie her hair into a simple ponytail, and walk to school before sunrise. Her job? Cafeteria worker. Hairnet, apron, plastic gloves. Next, what do you want? All day long. But Sarah didn't complain. She needed the money. Life had taken a hard turn, and this was where she had landed. Students barely looked her in the eyes. Teachers walked by without a hello. It was like she was invisible, a background character in a movie that wasn't hers. But behind those calm brown eyes lived a storm, a brilliant mind she had locked away, a past she never talked about, a dream she once believed was her destiny. Her coworker, Maria, always asked, "Why don't you do something better?" "You're smart." I can tell. Sarah would just smile politely. If only Maria knew. There were nights Sarah stared at the stars and remembered classrooms full of equations she once mastered, professors who praised her talent, a future that was supposed to be bright. But everything changed the day her father's heart stopped working right. Medical bills, full-time care, then the funeral, and emptiness that swallowed everything. MIT, scholarships, her life's purpose. All gone in a snap. Now she chopped vegetables and served mashed potatoes. Still, every time she saw students studying math, she felt it. That spark. She would solve their problems silently in her mind faster than the calculators they used. But she always stayed quiet, because the world had already told her. She was nobody, until one simple moment changed everything. A student dropped a small note on the floor. A math problem scribbled on it. The numbers caught her eye. Without thinking, Sarah lightly tapped the student's shoulder and said gently, "You switched the signs here. That's why the answer doesn't work." The student widened his eyes, shocked. "Oh, thanks." But someone else heard it too. Someone who didn't like being corrected, especially by someone he believed was beneath him. Mr. Anderson, and that moment, woke up the trouble. Mr. Anderson, tall, expensive-looking suit, hair slicked back like he was a CEO instead of a high school math teacher. He loved being in control. He loved being right. And most of all, he loved reminding people he was the smartest in the room. He turned sharply, eyes locked on Sarah. "You," he scoffed. "Don't tell my students how to solve problems. Stick to the cafeteria." The students froze. It was like the whole room turned cold. Sarah immediately apologized. I just wanted to help." Mr. Anderson smirked. That kind of smirk that says, "I own you." "Help? You think you can help with math?" He chuckled loud enough for others to hear. "What's next? You'll come teach my class, too?" A couple of students laughed nervously. Sarah's cheeks heated with embarrassment. She looked down, wishing she could disappear. Her throat tightened, but she said nothing more. This job, she needed it, but Mr. Anderson wasn't finished. He had tasted power, and he wanted more. He took a step closer and whispered just loud enough, "You are here to serve food. Don't forget your place." Those words hit her like a punch. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from anger she had buried for years. She walked away quietly, not because she was weak, but because she was smart enough to avoid trouble. Yet deep inside, something shifted. The genius she locked away, the dreams she buried, the confidence she once owned. We're all waking up, and soon, the whole school would see who Sarah Miller truly was. Maya sat at the cafeteria table, staring into her paper cup of cheap coffee like it was a portal to escape. The noise of students buzzing around her felt like bees in her ears, fast, loud, anxious. She hated being seen. She hated being judged. And Crown Hill Academy was full of people who did both for sport. Everywhere she looked, kids in expensive jackets and perfect smiles acted like they owned the world, because they probably did. Meanwhile, she was the new cafeteria worker's daughter, just trying to survive a school where everyone could smell outsider like a bad perfume. She opened her notebook. Pages filled with messy equations, doodles of numbers dancing like little friends only she understood. She loved math. Numbers made sense in ways people never did. There was always a clear path, a rule, a logic. But in this school, being different was dangerous. Suddenly, slam, a chair scraped across the floor. A tall girl with glossy hair and a stare sharp enough to cut glass dropped her tray right across from Maya. "Hey," the girl smirked. "You're the problem solver, right? The one who embarrassed Mr. Anderson." Maya blinked. I didn't mean to. He called on me and—" "Relax," the girl laughed. "Name's Brielle Crown." "Yes, that Crown. My family practically built this school." She leaned forward. "So listen, freak. Don't get any ideas about showing us up." Maya felt her stomach twist. She hated confrontation. "I'm not—" Before Brielle could finish her bullying speech, a familiar voice echoed through the cafeteria. "Ms. Gray." It was Mr. Anderson, striding toward her with intensity in his step. He held a stack of papers, equations scribbled in red ink. He slapped them down. "These are yesterday's contest problems," he said. "The ones no one solved." He pointed to one paper. "That is your handwriting, correct?" Maya froze. "I saw them on the board. I was just messing around before class." He stared at her like she was a mystery he couldn't wait to solve. "You solved all of them. Perfectly." Gasps spread across nearby tables. Brielle's smile cracked. "I was just testing an idea," Maya stuttered. Anderson's voice softened just barely. "Do you have any idea how rare this is? These are problems graduate students struggle with. You didn't just solve them, your method was original." Everyone was looking now. Whispers sparked like little wildfires. "Who is she? Is she some kind of prodigy? No way." "She's a nobody," Maya's heart raced. Her hidden world of numbers was suddenly on display, and exposure felt like drowning. Mr. Anderson stepped closer, excitement burning behind his glasses. "Maya, you are a mathematical genius." She didn't feel like one. She just felt scared, because when the world finally notices you, it can either crown you or destroy you. Maya's legs wouldn't stop shaking as she walked into class. Overnight, rumors had spread faster than wildfire. The cafeteria girl genius was now the hottest topic in Crown Hill Academy. Some stared with awe. Most stared with jealousy. Brielle stared with war in her eyes. Mr. Anderson entered with a smile so wide it almost looked painful. "Class," he announced. "Today Maya will show you how she solved problem number 6. Maya froze. Every worst fear she ever had happening right now, she whispered. "I can't do that." Mr. Anderson didn't back down. "You can. Maya, you have a gift, and the world deserves to see it." That word, deserves, punched her chest like a shove. She walked to the board, palms sweaty, mind spiraling. The chalk trembled between her fingers. Kids snickered. Let's see what the freak does. Probably cheated. Bet the teacher helped her. Maya inhaled deeply. Numbers formed in her mind like constellations. Connections appearing as if the universe wanted her to succeed, she wrote, and explained. Slow, but steady. Halfway through, the room fell silent. By the time she finished, even the whispering stopped. Brielle scoffed, breaking the quiet. Cute trick. She folded her arms. But if you're so smart, prove it again. Harder question. Right now. That's enough, Anderson snapped. But Maya surprised herself. She nodded. Give me one. Brielle smirked and scribbled something monstrous on the board. Problem far beyond this grade level. Students whispered. Is that even high school math? That's AP calculus. No, above that, Maya stared at the board. And her fear slowly melted into focus. She saw the solution. Elegant, clear, beautiful. Her hand moved faster than thoughts. Even Mr. Anderson leaned forward, stunned. When she finished, she stepped back, breathless. Brielle's face dropped. She looked like someone who had just lost the one thing she valued most, power. The class erupted, not mocking and applause, For the first time in this school, Maya wasn't invisible, but attention has a price. Later, walking home, a black SUV slowed beside her. A sharply dressed man stepped out. Charismatic grin, expensive suit. Maya Gray? She froze. Yes? He handed her a business card embossed in gold. Dr. Christopher Hale, National Academy of Mathematical Excellence, NAME. We've been looking for someone like you, he said. Let's talk future. Maya had no idea that this moment would change everything. Maya sat in the principal's office with her mom, Mrs. Gray, wearing her cafeteria uniform still dusted with crumbs. They looked so out of place in this expensive room with its leather chairs and polished awards. Dr. Hale sat across from them, calm and confident. Maya has shown skills that place her in the top 0.01% of mathematics students in the entire country, he stated. We want to offer her a full scholarship to our academy. Immediate transfer. Maya's heart jumped. A scholarship? A future she never thought she deserved? Her mother's eyes filled with tears, pride mixed with fear. That's... Mrs. Gray whispered. That's incredible. Dr. Hale continued. She would work alongside the brightest young minds in America. A chance to prepare for international math competitions. And long-term success. Maya waited for the but. There was always a but. Dr. Hale leaned forward. However, she cannot remain in her current environment. It will only hold her back. Anderson's voice suddenly cut in. He had been standing quietly in the corner. She needs stability, he argued. This is all new to her. Let her finish the year here. No, Hale said sharply. Genius must be moved quickly, or it is lost. The tension crackled. Maya looked at her mom, who was terrified of losing her daughter to a world she didn't understand. I can't afford to move, Mrs. Gray whispered. I can't leave my job. Hale nodded, businesslike. We can assist with relocation, housing, everything. Mrs. Gray covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Maya should feel excited, lucky. But instead, all she felt was pressure. What if I fail? She asked quietly. Hale smiled, but his eyes stayed cold. Failure doesn't happen to people like you, Maya. That sentence didn't comfort her. It threatened her. Later in the hallway, Anderson approached her privately. You don't owe them perfection, he said. You don't have to be who they want, only who you are. Maya didn't respond, because she didn't know who she was anymore. Behind her, Brielle lurked, listening, plotting. This wasn't just a new beginning. It was a war. The spotlight grew hotter every day. Online articles surfaced. Teen prodigy discovered in Crown Hill cafeteria. Girl outsmarts elite academy. Some comments were supportive, but many were cruel. What's she gonna do, count French fries? Probably a scam. She doesn't belong with real geniuses. At school, things escalated. Someone taped a sign to her locker. Math freak, her textbooks were trashed. Her chair was pulled away as she sat. Laughter echoing. Brielle led the attacks with a wicked smile. You really think you can replace me? She hissed during class change. This school has a queen, and it's not the cafeteria girl. Maya tried to ignore her, but the pressure cracked something inside. That evening, Anderson called. I've arranged something for you. A math tournament this weekend, low profile, just fun. A word that felt extinct, but she agreed. When the contest day came, she dominated. Every question fell like it was designed for her mind. A judge approached afterward. You're extraordinary, she said warmly. You think in dimensions most people never reach? For a moment, Maya felt weightless. Like maybe she belonged someplace great, but then her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Stop showing off, nerd. Crown Hill doesn't want you. Go back where you belong. Her breath hitched. Her hands shook, no matter how high she climbed. Someone always tried to shove her back down. Dr. Hale visited again, this time more forceful. You must join NAME immediately, he insisted. We're submitting you to the International Math Olympiad. Maya felt dizzy. The Olympiad? That was a stage for the best in the entire world. Please, she whispered. I'm not ready. Hale's polite mask slipped. You don't get to decide when genius is ready. Anderson stepped between them. She's a child. Not a science fair project. Hale glared. Stay out of this. You discovered her, nothing more. He turned back to Maya. Think of your mother. Her struggling job. Her sacrifices. Do you want to disappoint her? The guilt crushed her. That night she stared at equations until her head pounded. Tears smeared the ink. Her mother entered and hugged her tightly. You don't have to be perfect, Mrs. Gray whispered. You don't have to save us. Just be happy. But happiness felt like another difficult problem. And then the breaking point. Next morning, as she opened her locker, a bucket of milk spilled over her. Kids howled with laughter. Brielle stood proudly. Look, everyone. The genius can't even predict a bucket. Maya's breath faltered. Vision blurred. She dropped her books and ran. Ran until her lungs burned. She collapsed behind the gym, tears streaming. Why did being exceptional feel like punishment? From her left, a soft voice. People fear what they don't understand. Brielle's younger brother, Evan, knelt beside her, kind eyes. Sympathetic smile. You deserve better than this place, he said. Maya wanted to believe that. She really did. A week later, the school held a pep rally, something Maya usually avoided. But Anderson insisted she attend. The stage lights flashed. Music thumped. Suddenly, the principal spoke into the mic. And now, the ultimate brain duel. Maya Gray versus Brielle Crown. The crowd erupted. Not cheers, but bloodlust. Maya panicked. This is unfair. Anderson squeezed her shoulder. You don't have to do this, but Brielle smirked on stage. What's wrong? Genius scared? Maya took a trembling breath and stepped forward. The challenge. A massive equation flashed across the scoreboard. Timed. Brielle scribbled wildly, frantic, angry. Maya paused. Looked deeper. Then, suddenly, a spark. She saw the trick. The elegant shortcut. Her answer flowed like water. She finished first, silence, then. Winner, Maya Gray. The gym shook with noise, shock, disbelief, some applause. Brielle looked destroyed. Publicly defeated for the first time. But Maya didn't feel triumph. She felt tired. She rushed off the stage, into the hallway, where the only person waiting was Evan. You were amazing, he said softly. She finally smiled, just a little. For the first time, Maya realized her success wasn't the problem. Other people's insecurity was. Dr. Hale met her outside the school the next day. You proved your worth, he said. Pack your things. You're coming with me. Maya stood firm. No, he blinked. No, I'm not a trophy. I'm not a weapon. I'm not moving because you want control. His jaw tightened. You're throwing your life away out of fear. Maya shook her head. Steady. No, out of choice. Her mother stepped beside her. Anderson, too. She wasn't alone anymore. Hale turned away, furious. Opportunity doesn't knock twice, he warned. Good, Maya replied. I'll build my own door. Weeks passed. Crown Hill slowly adjusted. Bullies grew quieter. Friends grew closer. She and Evan studied together, laughter replacing tears. And Anderson? He helped her enter competitions she chose. At a pace she set. Maya didn't hide her brilliance anymore, but she didn't let anyone own it either. One evening, as she finished a scholarship application, her mom entered the room. You okay? She asked. Maya smiled, genuinely. Yeah, I think I finally know who I am. Mrs. Gray kissed her forehead. And who's that? Maya looked at her notebook, numbers glowing like old friends. A girl who can change the world. Not tomorrow. Not because someone demanded it, but because she believes in herself. And sometimes, that's the greatest genius of all.